The Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce hosted its 2020 March breakfast meeting with the theme Nigerian Women and Digital Economy. The forum brought together members of the chamber, women in finance, banking and experts in the technology sector in order to take advantage of the world's digital age by including more women in technology businesses. In his welcome address, the President and Chairman of Council, NBCC, Mr. Kayode Falowo, speaks on gender diversity in the banking industry and ICT sector.
Globally, discussions on gender diversity have begun to gather a lot of momentum. In Africa particularly, you see countries like Rwanda, Mauritius, Kenya, making it rather topical, much more topical than we have done in Nigeria. But of course, I think Nigeria is also beginning now to catch up in terms of ensuring that we have a well-diversified society, not only in the public sector, but also in the private sector. Now, in terms of the Nigerian ICT sector, I think before I talk about that briefly, I'd like to look at one sector that I consider to be quite developed in Nigeria, in the economy, which is the banking sector. And that will also probably speak to the issue of what we need to do in order to ensure that we achieve the next level of diversity. The Nigerian banking industry is over 120 years old. I think the very first time we had a woman chairing the board of a bank was when we had Mrs. Kuforiji Olubi in 1984, chairing the board of a bank. That would be about 36, 38 years ago, for an institution that was over 120 years, that is now over 120 years old in Nigeria. And until like 30, 31 years after, you didn't have another MD, another chairman of a bank, which is the chairman, current chairman of First Bank, Mrs. Awoshika, being the chairman of a bank. Now, of all the chairmen, you have only maybe 4 women chairing boards of banks. I'm using banking particularly as an example because it is seen as probably the most sophisticated industry in Nigeria. Probably now competing with telecoms, but for many years clearly ahead of the rest of the pack. So if that is happening in that industry, then you can imagine what it is like in other industries. So there is indeed need for the women and even the environment, which is the public sector and government legislation, to address this issue of diversity. And why is it important? Why is it important? A survey was conducted by the IFC in 2019, and that survey showed that 77% of respondents confirmed that fewer than 30% of their senior management staff are female. 55% also agree that women are less likely to advance to top management roles because they face more barriers. However, 84% of the respondents agree that female board members add significant value to the organization. So really, if 84% think so, you should, be thinking of having more females at the top of organizations.
Also, the NBCC March breakfast meeting featured a panel discussion moderated by Mrs. Folusho Gbadamosi, Director, Business Process and Technology of Prime Atlantic Group.
I think that there are many aspects and roles women can play. Some of the constraining factors are really opportunities as well, because we need to look at the fact that the digital economy is not something that is location-based. You can do it anywhere. So women who feel that, I can't participate because I have to work late or I have to do certain things at certain hours, you can do it wherever. And I think this situation of COVID-19 is reminding us that work is not location-based. It is really the age of mobility, and we should be able to work anywhere as long as we can connect and deliver our roles and responsibilities. Thank you.
When you look at Nigeria today, we don't have enough classrooms, we don't have enough teachers, and the teachers that we have, with due respect to any teachers here, are not of the quality that we need to begin to develop those children that will seek and do the jobs of the future. And this is where tech comes. I've always said that for me, edu-tech is one of the most important tech sectors, because I think if we could find the solution that is technology enabled, that will help us to train 100 million children to the highest levels, I think that would have hit the jackpot.
In an interview with Web TV at the breakfast meeting, Professor Olayinka David West, the academic director of Lagos Business School, shared her views on areas to deepen Nigeria's digital economy and how female participation could be increased.
Once we can empower the people and then create markets as well, because don't forget that how do we digitize Nigerian businesses as well? Because if you think about our economy is split across micro, small and medium enterprises. So if we think that, I think the last median study that was done says that I think about more than 99% are micro businesses. How do we begin to build small micro solutions for these types of businesses, even if it's simple things like bookkeeping and things like that? Because if we don't have people using technology locally and we're building the skills only, we wouldn't have a pure digital economy. How do we digitize government and government services so you don't have to go to different places to get different things done? So those are little things that we need to work on, and because it has to be a local economy, it's not something we're going to import, because we have the people, we have the people, but we need to build the markets around those people in general.
So we know that we have less females in the tech space. What do you think can be done to increase the amount of female participation in that space?
First of all, I think we said some of those things on the panel. It's really about building role models, providing them with the skills, providing them with that interest and desire. And I think also one of the things I learned from the panel today was that when a desire is there or a skill is there, don't kill it. Because we're used to conventional ways of doing work and conventional thinking, then you realize that we're killing some of these intuitive and native skills. So let's encourage it. Let's encourage our kids today to do what comes naturally to them rather than doing the stereotypical law and medicine and things like that, because this is where technology is going today. But then again, even if they do those courses, those traditional courses, there's technology in everything today. So when you think about law, the legal profession, there's smart contracts that use blockchain that would already almost eliminate the need for paralegals. When you look at the medical space, for example, there's the analysis of data that we can use to build into pharma research and things like that. So there's opportunities everywhere. So whatever background you have today, you can build it up with knowledge.
Dr. Mrs. Omobola Johnson, Senior Partner Telecom Capital, gave her perspective on deepening the country's emerging digital economy and spoke concerning the ongoing coronavirus pandemic and its threats and opportunities for the tech industry.
I think a lot is being done right now. First of all, we have better infrastructure to actually the bedrock of any digital economy. I think with the National Broadband Plan, the new one that's just been announced, I think a lot of work is going on in that area. And there's a lot of encouragement for companies that are building tech companies or tech-enabled companies that are solving big challenges around logistics, education. So I think we're doing a fairly good job. I mean, there's more to be done, but at least we're headed in the right direction, understanding the impact of technology on Nigeria's economy and making sure that we actually take advantage of all that technology has to offer.
So to the big elephants in the room with the whole coronavirus situation, what do you think are the opportunities and the threats in terms of challenges for the tech sector?
I mean, the biggest opportunity is that, the economy can continue to function with remote working. And so we're seeing right now that even though people have been asked to not come to the office in other parts of the world, they're actually working from home. And I think that while we don't have fantastic infrastructure, it's good enough that we can actually begin to ask people to work from home. So that's an opportunity, and getting used to distributed workforces, that not everybody has to be in a physical office to be able to be productive. So I think that's an opportunity that we may realize as this COVID is upon us.
The interview featured the Chairman Programs Committee, Mr. Akin Oshuntoki, where he shared his perspectives on the forum.
For two reasons, we felt that March being the Women's Month, we needed to do something to honor our women. Two, we also realized that increasingly there are more women moving up the ladder, and we thought we should invite those who are gaining prominence to share with those who are aspiring. So today you find out that quite a number of women have asked very relevant questions on how they can grow their careers, grow their businesses, and be more fulfilled. So for us, it's been another successful event for the NBCC.
As the world moves towards a digital age and the fourth industrial revolution, over 50% of women lack access to jobs in the digital economy and the ICT sector in particular. An increased participation of women in the Nigerian technology space will deepen the digital economy, as Nigeria is one of Africa's biggest technology markets and accounts for 23% of internet users on the African continent.